I start by welcoming you into the world of Crypto Raggies, a project that lives completely on Cardano. And the moment you see these handcrafted cat characters on screen, you immediately understand that this is not a random NFT drop. This is an entire universe that has been built layer by layer, and everything that you interact with has a purpose. When I dive into Crypto Raggies, what stands out for me is how multidimensional it feels. I am not just holding a JPEG, I am stepping into a living ecosystem where art, gaming, staking wallet interactions, and community mechanics are all designed to connect to each other. It is rare to see something in Web3 that is not based on hype and instead focuses on building real features, and here everything you touch has been delivered before it is promised.
Right from the moment I start playing the game or browsing the marketplace, I get this sense that Crypto Raggies is meant to show what Cardano NFTs can become. Not just pictures you mint, but assets that have a life beyond the first purchase. The ecosystem encourages exploration, and whether I am here as a gamer, a collector, or someone who is simply curious about blockchain, there is something for me to do. As I move inside the game world, I see that the experience is intentionally playful. Everything is colorful, but behind that cuteness, there is utility. When I hold a Raggy, it is not just art, it is a playable character. It can earn rewards, it can be staked, and it becomes part of a larger circular system. The idea is simple. Make blockchain feel natural to interact with, without forcing me to be technical. And while I play, it feels like I am just gaming. Yet, every action is connected to something that lives on chain. What excites me most is how the project treats value. Instead of saying you should believe because it might be big, it says here is what you can use right now, here is what is working today, and here is a reason to return. It is rare to find this level of commitment in a space that often moves fast without building. So in this video, as I play, what I want you to notice is not only the gameplay, but the idea that this world is anchored into something real, an ecosystem that is already functioning, already rewarding, and continuing to expand. As I keep moving deeper into Crypto Raggies, I want to share what I feel is the heartbeat of this entire ecosystem, its goals and its long-term vision. Because when I first started exploring, it became clear that this is not just a project trying to exist in the NFT space, it is trying to redefine what that space could look like. The goal here is simple to describe, but powerful when you experience it. This world aims to stand as a real working example of what an NFT ecosystem should be. Everything fits together. Nothing exists only for hype. And every feature feels like it was designed to support another piece of the system. That harmony is what makes it different. As someone who has watched countless NFT drops, I am used to promises, roadmaps, and announcements, but very few deliver something usable right away. Crypto Raggies flips that pattern. Here, utility is something that comes first, not last. I am not being asked to imagine what could be built one day. I am being invited to touch and use what is already here today. This vision is also about who they want to serve, and when I look at it, I can tell the ecosystem is built for different types of people. Collectors who want rare art, gamers who just want to jump in and play, and people who are curious about blockchain but do not want to get lost in technical steps. The door is intentionally wide open. You can enter without paying, without holding anything, and still feel like you belong. Something I respect is that long term. The project is not trying to become a museum of good ideas. It is trying to become a living place, a space where your asset evolves, gains new functionality, and remains relevant. When I stake a Raggy or when I play, using it, the system rewards participation. So over time, the NFT is not static. It earns, it moves, it becomes part of an economy. That is where the vision feels biggest to me. It is showing a future where NFTs are not passive, where gaming is not isolated, and where community activity is not just conversation, but action that can shape a world. As the gameplay continues, I want you to notice that sense of intention. Nothing here feels random. If something exists, it exists because it builds toward a larger experience, and that experience is meant to keep growing, expanding, and giving people a reason to return. Not once, but again and again. As I continue this walkthrough, I want to highlight the features that make Crypto Raggies feel like more than just another project. And I want you to see them the same way I experience them, directly through gameplay, through interaction, through the feeling of being inside a system instead of just watching from outside. The first feature that immediately captures my attention is the original Raggies NFT collection, 10,000 unique pieces that were fully minted on Cardano back in September 2021, and every one of them is handcrafted. Each one looks like a little character with identity and personality, and what is special is that they are not simply collectibles, they are playable. When I select one to use inside, Raggy Run that cat, that art becomes a character in motion. It jumps, runs, and interacts with the world, and the traits it holds influence my gameplay. Then I move into Raggy Run, the game itself, which is available across PC, Android, and iOS. And as I start running, I feel the weight of being inside the very first Cardano wallet enabled NFT game. The track keeps generating the dungeon shifts, and even in this early stage, there is a boss fight. I can sense how this is meant to evolve, not just be a single screen endless runner, but something with depth and replayability. Another standout for me is the token economy. Raggy Coin, also called RAG, and instead of being something I only buy on an exchange, I am earning it. When I play, I generate XP, and that XP later converts into RAG. If I stake my NFTs, RAG flows passively. If I join events on Discord, it becomes another way to earn. And when I return to the Raggy store, that token becomes fuel. It lets me buy upgrades, mint collectibles, or go into Rag Alley and bid on NFTs. There is also Raggy World, which sits above everything as the space where it all connects. And when I step into it, I feel like I am entering a social layer, not just a dashboard. Here I can explore chat shop trade and navigate the project without friction. This is where I see other players. It is where the game communicates with the marketplace, and where my wallet becomes a digital passport. One of the most surprising features is Stash Trade. When I open it, I see a system that lets me swap NFTs or assets directly with another person without a marketplace. I simply initiate a trade deposit, and the smart contract executes. It feels clean, fast, and secure, and it shows how trading can feel like a natural part of gameplay, not a separate business activity. Finally, staking shapes the way this world works. When I stake a Raggy, I am not locking it, I still control it. I can still play, and at the same time it enters a pool that helps free-to-play users enjoy the game. My asset supports someone else, and while they play, a slice of their score becomes mine. This creates a bridge between players who own and players who simply want to experience the world. All of these features together create a system where every action has meaning, and as I keep playing, you will see how each one of them comes alive. As I move through this world, I want to slow down and focus on something that often sits in the background, but here it becomes a driving force, and that is how Cardano technology is woven into almost every interaction. When I play trade, stake, or earn, I am constantly touching Cardano without even needing to think about it. When I look at the original NFT collection, I recognize that every Raggy is minted using Cardano NFT standards. That is what allows each one to exist permanently, provably unique, and owned by me, not by a centralized database. That is where the foundation begins. The blockchain gives these characters digital permanence, so the identity I am using in the game is mine in a verifiable way. Then I get into staking, and this is where the influence of Cardano becomes even clearer. The system is built to behave like ADA delegation, meaning when I stake my NFT, it does not leave my wallet. I stay in full control. I can sell it, use it, or play with it, and the staking still counts. That approach comes directly from Cardano's philosophy of staking as a lightweight ownership-based signal, not a custody lock. It feels natural because I am participating without handing my assets away. Now, when I trade using Stash Trade, that is where Cardano smart contracts show their value. I initiate a swap with another player. I choose what I am giving and what I want, and the contract becomes the neutral agent. There is no middleman, no human to trust, no external system holding the assets. The moment both sides agree, the transfer executes, and if someone changes their mind, they can cancel. It is simple, but it reflects the promise of trust, minimized peer-to-peer interaction. When I earn XP and later convert it into Raggy Coin, that conversion is done through wallet-based identity, meaning the token is distributed to my address, and then I take it into decentralized exchanges on Cardano like MinSwap, SundaeSwap, or Wing Riders. I can feel how the token economy plugs directly into native infrastructure. It is not theoretical. It is something that exists in motion today. Finally, every time I connect my wallet to play Raggy Run, Cardano becomes my login system. There is no email, no password, no platform gatekeeper. My wallet becomes my identity, my score receiver, my reward generator, and my access point. It shows how blockchain can sit silently behind the scenes and make the experience feel smoother, not heavier. As I continue exploring, what I realize is that Cardano here is not decoration, it is the invisible structure holding all of this together. It is in the minting, in the trading, in the staking, in the rewards, and even in how I enter the game.
As I keep playing and moving through this ecosystem, I start to notice something that sits beneath the surface, something that goes beyond graphics, beyond gameplay, beyond rewards, and that is the impact this experience is designed to have both for me as a user and for the broader Cardano landscape. When I hold a Raggie, it is not just sitting in my wallet, it is not an idle collectible that waits for hype. Instead, it becomes part of my gameplay, part of my rewards, and part of a bigger circular system. I enjoy the art, but I also see it earning, moving, participating, and that creates a sense of active ownership. It makes me feel like I am inside the economy, not just watching from the edge. Then I shift into free-to-play, and this is where the impact grows wider. Someone who arrives with no NFT, no wallet funds, and maybe no experience with blockchain can still play. They can choose a staked Raggie from the pool and begin. They do not need to buy, they do not need to commit, they simply join. And yet, while they play, a portion of their score flows back to the NFT owner. This creates a bridge, and I can feel how powerful that bridge is. It connects crypto and non-crypto users, owners and newcomers without creating a wall between them. In a space where most NFT projects ask people to believe, imagine, and wait, Crypto Raggies delivers a loop that is already functioning. When I earn XP, I know it can one day become Raggie Coin, which I can then take into the Raggie store or into a marketplace that is a closed system, a circular model where activity stays inside the ecosystem, helping it sustain, strengthen, and grow. And from the perspective of Cardano itself, this serves as a living demonstration, a proof of what blockchain gaming can look like when the pieces actually connect. It shows developers and projects that an NFT can be more than art, that staking can be more than a passive screen, and that smart contracts can shape gameplay rather than sit unused. As a player, what impacts me most is how everything I do feels like it matters. When I run, when I dodge, when I score, when I stake, every one of those actions has a consequence. It influences my position in the ecosystem, my rewards, and even someone else's experience. This makes Crypto Raggies feel like a world that welcomes you, rewards you, and then invites you to play a role in sustaining it, and that is where its value becomes undeniable. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and before I go, don't forget, if you'd like to receive a very short but value-packed email from me every Tuesday, you can sign up for the Cardano Gaming newsletter. Every Monday, I'll be sharing the latest from the Cardano Gaming ecosystem to help you make better decisions. So, if you don't want to miss out, just go to the link on the screen, leave me your email, and very soon, I'll be in your inbox. That's all for today. I hope you have a great week.